Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in, much appreciated. And today I'm going to give you guys some simple tips to help you out with your creature baits as far as basically how to select them for different situations. I think a lot of people maybe don't know the right type of creature bait to use in the right situation. And today I'm going to give you some simple tips to really make that a little bit less intimidating. But a couple of housekeeping tips real quick. Just want to remind everybody, give our weekly update on this. If you guys are interested in any of the lake map breakdowns we're doing for Fish the Moment, you can check those out at fishthemoment.com. We've got a bunch of them out there for you guys. And also on my own channel here, I just want to remind everybody that I'm offering memberships on the channel. If you guys are interested in becoming members of the channel, it's a great way to not only support the channel, but you get extra videos each week not seen by the public. You get access to my personal email address for your personal fishing questions on some memberships. And it's just a great way if you want to help the channel out. Much appreciated with that. So anyway, let's get into this a little bit here as far as the creature baits here. And hold on one second, I gotta close the door. Sage just walked on and the air conditioner's kicked on out there. It's a little bit harder to hear. But I want to sort of simplify this because, you know, the thing about soft plastics, guys, is there's so much out there. If you guys go on any online tackle store and check them out, it's literally a sea of soft plastic. So where do you begin with? You know, which is the best and what do you need to do? I'm not really interested in that in like the brands, to give you specific brands. Everybody knows that I use Zoom, which I'm talking about here today, but there's tons of them out there. What I'm more interested in is understanding the difference of the actions and profiles of the two different styles of creature baits. But basically on a creature bait, you have the creature baits like the Z-Craw that have some type of a flapping tail on it. You know, these type of tails, you know, like the Rage Craws or whatever, they're designed to have motion and they flap and wiggle. And then you've got other creature baits like the Z-Hog here, or let's say the Sweet Beaver, that don't have a flapping action. They have a flat tail with no action on them. And there's several different sizes on that. So when you think in terms of creature baits, think in terms of the flappers and the non-flappers. That's going to sort of give you the foundation to begin with. Real simply, there's a couple different situations I like the flappers. When I'm fishing a flapper type bait, you know, like the Z-Craw or the Rage Craw or something like that, there's a couple different situations. First of all, trying to understand the aggressiveness of the fish. If you have a more aggressive bass a lot of times, and that aggressiveness can be caused by a lot of different factors. It can be caused by water temperature. It can be caused by the mood that they're in as far as the proximity to the spawn or after the spawn. A lot of different factors in there. But if you find out or you feel that a bass is in a little bit more aggressive mood, a lot of times if you have a lake that doesn't have a lot of fishing pressure on it, that can be another indicator. The aggressive bass will target the flappers much better than the non-flappers. There's just something about it. I think the action makes it look a little bit more lively. They want to kill it more. It's just more of a visual attractor to there. Second to that is water clarity. A lot of times I like to use the flapping type tails like this if the water's a little bit clearer, because it gives me a little bit more, another strike visual. You know, they see the legs flapping down there. It's something that, you know, it kicks, their instinct kicks on as far as your curiosity or their anger or their competition, and they tend to hit it a little bit better. And the good thing about the creature baits with the flappers on there is you can control how hard you want these baits to flap based upon the sinker size you use on there. If you want to use a light sinker like a 3/16 or an 1/8 ounce, you're going to have a lot more subtle flapping motion. But if you want to go up to like a 1/2 ounce to 3/4, the bait's going to fall faster and you're going to get a harder kicking action. Now, the straight ones on here, like the Z-Hog, that don't have any action like that, there's a couple different situations that I like these. I like this type of a trailer a little bit in colder water. I just find out that I get more bites on a creature bait if that water temperature is, say, below 70 degrees. This is one of my favorite things to do. That's not that that's cold, but anywhere from that 50 to 70 degree range. Get a lot of bites in situations like that. Also, you know, like I said, if the fish are a little bit highly pressured, if they're a little bit more finicky, if they're a little bit harder to get bite, I find out sometimes that the subtle presentation works better. Also the same as in dirty water. If I'm fishing dirty water, like water visibility is under 12 inches, I seem to get more bites on the non-flappers with a little bit lighter sinker. Just something that has been working for me a little bit. So that's, you know, the general rule of thumb as far as understanding personalities, which one they want and which one they don't. Also, another thing I found about if you're flipping a bait where it's over an object, like over a limb or in a grass bed, like a matted grass bed, for some reason I get more bites on the non-flappers, like the Z-Hog 2. And again, sinker size on this, since you're not dealing with the sinker size affecting the legs moving, a lot of it just has to do with how fast you want the drop. So again, that's just based upon a lot of different variables. Now, the second element to that on your creature baits, guys, is selecting the size. Here is the regular size Z-Hog. Here is the Z-Hog Junior. You can see the size difference in there, quite a bit different. And the same with the Z-Craw on the flappers, quite a bit different on there. So the size variations, I'll tell you guys right off the bat, I use the junior sizes much more. Like, you know, when it's coming to this type of a bait, I'm probably using the junior size 75% of the time in my fishing, and I'm using the full size one 25% of the time in my fishing. The time that I'm using the full size ones is usually under low light conditions, early in the morning, late in the evening, if it's cloudy or rainy, that type of stuff, or if the fish have not got a lot of pressure on there. I find out that they get you know, conditioned to those bigger baits. They won't bite them as good right off, you know, once they start seeing them a little bit more. And also if the water's dirtier. If I wanted something that displaces a little bit more water, I go to the bigger one. But most of the time I've got both on. I've got the bigger ones, I've got the smaller ones. But overall, I like the smaller size like this. I just feel that I get a lot more bites on them, and I feel like I still catch good fish on them. I still get quality fish on them. Another thing to remember is, you know, these resemble crawfish to the bass to a large degree, as you know, depending upon the colors you're using. Sometimes I guess they could be a perch or a shad, but most of the crawfish that a bass eat are closer to the 3-inch size, which is a small, versus like the 4 or 5-inch size, which is the big one. So I think it more is in line with their food base as far as those smaller ones. So anyway, guys, just a few quick tips on creature baits. This is what's worked for me. There's a lot of other elements to it we can get into in later videos. You got color, you got more of a expansion on the weight, that type of stuff, different type of applications. But that's just a good foundation as far as like a good one-on-one tip that'll help you out there. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing good, and we'll talk to y'all later. See you.